Okay, and let's get started with this VOD review between the Guangzhou Charge and the Hangzhou Spark. Nailed those names. And what's already interesting is like the difference in these two compositions, right? We see the specific symmetric comp played here on this night market map so much because what Spark can do is they can TP from here to the window and then set up all their turrets, play around their turrets on point, wherever they want to put them, right? And they can mostly win the mirror matchup against the Reaper with that. Now, because this is played a lot, teams have started rolling out not the Reaper comp, to counter the Sim. Teams either add the Doomfist, but Doomfist is not too great on this map because it's a very long point. You can't easily get wallbangs if the enemy team holds like close like here. But what they've also been doing, like the Charge, is playing more of a spammy comp. And Symmetra doesn't deal as well against spam as the Reaper does. Spark will likely cap the point, but they actually didn't go in and TP. They TP'd out of spawn, and now they're going to go and swap. So actually really smart from the Spark, not using the TP to go to point, but instead they used the TP to scout. Now they're going to swap to a counter comp against the Charge. A good strat from them. The TP is still up. Okay, so wait, they swapped back. They're playing like 8D mind games right now. So Spark rolls out on this comp. They TP back to spawn. Charge see they're TPing back to spawn, and Charge is like, hey, they're gonna swap to a counter comp, so we're gonna go counter the counter comp. And then Spark is like, they're gonna go counter the counter comp, so we're gonna stay our comp. Very strange, but likely that both these teams will end up rolling out on these comps. No. Yes. Okay. Both these teams end up rolling out on the comps they started on. A very interesting line of play there, but overall, the Spark's advantage, right? Because the enemy team is more spam, but once point unlocks, they at least get point percentage, right? And the enemy team kind of has to touch. So very interesting start so far. Okay. Point goes in favor of Spark. The Fair is still spamming inside, right? But again, because Spark has the point, a lot of them can just kind of get off the point, wait for some of Charge to get in, then go. Charge kind of want to charge their Pharah ult or their Nano, and then maybe go. Or just like kill somebody by spamming, right? Interestingly enough, they're also playing the Sombra. And Sombra's really good against Sigma. Sombra has a pretty good time hacking the enemy Sigma. They've TP'd out of point, which is very interesting. I guess they're just going to expand really hard. I like being aggressive with TP, because you see what they can do. They can come in and out, and it gives them a little bit of a reprieve against the spam. Also, what's really good for Rhea here is that the Fair has been spamming from these windows, right? And he can just throw his shield out in front of one of those windows and kind of block the Pharah shots really well with his own shield. Say for this window, right? So it takes more than just Nero spam, right? And Nero's been doing a good job. He's been farming ultimate, but him just farming ult isn't as great as it seems because Bebe, who is on Moira instead of Baptiste in this case. Sometimes you see Baptiste because you have the drone for the Symmetra. But Bebe's on Moira. And he is going to build Coalescence because the Fair has been spamming. Also, Rio just gets clapped. He gets frozen. He ends up dying. So that's really bad for the Charge. Because again, Spark's still in control of point. Rez comes out for Neptuno. They've almost got the barrage now. Rio comes in, he's getting zapped. What the hell is Rio doing? He's just getting booped around, he's gonna die again. Oh, Godsby's 1 HP and naded. He should die. Okay. Okay. So far, the Spark are doing a really good job, and Rio is not having a great time right now. He keeps trying to get in, but it's not very tactical, and he keeps kind of messing up his swings and not slamming. Well, slamming is bad against Mei, right? Because if you slam, then Mei can just freeze you after. He could be doing more drive-bys, maybe, you know? Booping people into spots where they want to be. Like this, like he is now. He's coming from the side. A little bit better for the Hemin, in my opinion. So they were all kind of spamming from main, except for Eileen, of course, who can just TP around. But if the whole team is just standing here in main, all the Spark have to look at is just these two doors, right? Well, if you also cover these two doors and maybe the back windows, a lot harder for Spark to just sit on point. So now the Farmers here are going for a side window, which is good. They still have the Pharaoh, and they've almost got the EMP now too. Interestingly enough, Godsby has died on the Symmetra, and he's now swapped over to the Tracer, right? Tracer's a more mobile character. He doesn't get fucked as hard by a dive, right? By a Hammond. And the Symmetra is really mostly to break enemy shields. But as you can see, Chart is not playing any shields. So the Tracer is more now to poke the enemy Ana and finish off kills that are low, right? Okay. More spam comes in. Rio comes in, slams in this time, but you're gonna see that he's gonna get frozen very quick after he's slammed. EMP comes in, good EMP, and the barrage at the same time. Oh, he gets slept though. Wow. What? How does he get slept? Oh, he gets rocked. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Good rock by Rio. Oh, nice rock. A really quick rock. IDK still dies. But this isn't necessarily too great for the Charge. Like, even if they win this fight now, they're using almost all their ultimates in this one push. And Spark could have like a good time retaking it. If they stall this, it could honestly go to like 80 or 90%. Yeah, they're still stalling. Ozzy ends up dying. Dushui is gonna die. IDK stalling more. Yeah. So they used 3 ultimates, right? They used Fire Barrage and the EMP. I feel like it's a lot. Like, they have to keep winning fights now. So if they were the ones with 90%, I'd say, yeah, good job using those ults. But Spark ended up using nothing. Charge used 3 ultimates there. Maybe they could have gotten away with only using EMP or the Nano Barrage, but I doubt it, right? At least they finally recapped the point, and retaking it to fair is hard, right? Shu also almost has another ultimate. He farmed that very quickly. What? Dude, what was that? Wait. Did anybody else see that boop from Rio? What is that? He's waiting. He swings. He gets stuck. Swings. Gets pulled. What? And it boops Rio off the map. Wait, what? That's an interaction. But Rio starts up. Swings. Swings again, gets to that speed, gets pulled back, and it somehow, with the pull, boops the entirety of the Spark, and Ria gets booped off the map. What? What? I don't think that should work like that. Wait. Rio. Swings. Okay, his swing gets stopped. He swings again. He gets pulled. The pull activates his fireball form. And then he swings off Rio off the map. Somebody clip it. What the fuck is that interaction? And Bozzy also uses mail. And Spark are kind of screwed now because they only have one shield. But that was such a good fight for them. Like if you looked at the ult at the start of that. Really good. So that's very unlucky. Rio has been stuttering Guangzhou VODs. I mean, I'm not sure if it, Rio obviously didn't intend for that to happen, I think. But yeah, now Charge just wins this fight because Rio's dead. He always pulls that corner. I mean, sure, but pulling the corner. I mean, they only pulled because the Hammond was there, right? And if you can pull and then do something else to the Hammond, sure. But I never knew like the pull could react like that. What? Anyway, we continue. Good fight for Charge. Okay, Spark. Guangzhou swapped over to... But I've swapped to a way faster comp now. Tracer Sombra is really good into Pharah comps because Pharah comp is very slow. And Tracer Sombra is really fast, right? Now, there's a problem for Spark here. They'd like to be on the D.Va because D.Va is also really good against Pharah. But they're kind of stuck on the Sigma because the Sigma has ultimate. I guess that Rhea just wants to stay and use it. Right, but this is not the ideal, like, go super hard dive. Oh, no, he just swapped off his ultimate. Okay, so Rhea decides, screw the Sigma ultimate. I'm gonna go with D.Va, which might be the right choice, honestly. I don't mind that swap at all. Especially because Samba's really good against Hammond, right? Gonna go for a rotation. Joy jumps the Sombra, forces her out. They nano the Pharah. Pharah's no barrage, but still, nano Pharah is really good. She can one-shot people with a rocket. Oh, you see IDK almost dies to one rocket. Oh, Nero had to reload. That's so unlucky. I don't know if he's gonna get him now. Yeah, he's not. Meanwhile, Sombra Bozzy going to fight Shu. Oh, he's been forced out. He dodged asleep though. And Nero did get IDK in the end. Nero's killing everybody. So even though Spark were able to pick a counter comp, just because Charge still had ults left, and Spark kind of picked a comp, you know, where they didn't have ults, they only hit the beat, and then IDK is the one that ends up dying first. Because obviously Charge knows he has beat. So he's going to be focused, right? Really good target selection from the Charge. And let's see how Nero does end up killing IDK here. IDK is rolling around. Oh, he just catches him mid-wall, right? Nice rocket, too. But that's very bad. Like, this kill is so bad for Spark. Because, one, Lucio allows you to speed boost onto people, right? And be aggressive and outpace that Pharah. And two, IDK had ult. And then Bebe also dying straight after. He's like, that's the fight right there. Bebe was also 60% to ult. Yeah. Nice job by Nero. Who did a great job on the Pharah there. And that might even like decide the map here. What started out as like an insane start for Spark. They couldn't close out. And I have to somewhat blame that on the boop too. That happened. Yeah, so now they just have to rush the point, right? Eileen already farmed another EMP. Rio comes in with boop. He unfails Bozzy. Bozzy gets killed. Rhea has to go to point, but because there's no defense matrix, Charge just, or Spark just kind of gets ran over. And now finally the beat comes in, but it's oh, maybe not too little too late. Shu did end up dying. So they smartly do Diva Bomb plus res, so nobody can really focus their res because the Diva Bomb's there, right? That was very smart from the Charge. Shu gets rezzed. Even though Eileen dies, I doubt it will do anything here. Okay, so great round for Charge. Okay, so starting with map 2, we look at the comps a little bit, and now you see that the Charge are still playing their spammy long range comp, right, with Afera and Sombra. It's a pretty slow comp, but that's why they only have Shu in the backline, you know, there's no other backline, and they have Rio who can like slam people. Generally, this team's ults are really good. And then we look at the Spark comp, and it's the exact opposite, right? They have a very fast composition. Because they're playing the Lucio, they're playing the Moira, they're looking to stack up and just speed on somebody and just go. And this Spark composition's actually very, very strong into this Charge composition, in my opinion. Because one, Sombra's really good against both these tanks, right? Especially against Hammond. Sombra's very, very good. And then two, if you play it well, I feel like the Charge comp just kind of gets outpaced. Unless you can get a pick with the Fair, it's hard to do as much damage as this Spark comp. So yeah, you instantly see a Charge against Smart going back to spawn, and Spark also going back to spawn. These teams are playing 5D chess, dude. This is so smart, though. Oh my god, all the swaps coming in. They're just gonna stay in spawn. And now both teams go a Reaper comp. What is happening? So now, both teams have TP'd out with the Symmetra. And they're mirroring Reaper comp. So this Charge comp with the Sim is going to be really good against the initial comp that Spark had chosen, because the Tracer and the Sombra don't do very well into May Reaper. That comp kind of runs over your tanks, which is a problem for Spark. So now they're also going to swap. They're going to swap into Orisa. This is the mirror comp now. Charge do get there a little faster though, so great on them. That is very good for them, because now they get to kind of hold the enemy team and get to be aggro. And you instantly see how aggressive Rio is here. Wall comes out for Nero, but it doesn't cover the whole bridge, so IDK and Ria can still regroup with the team, right? Very aggressive start from both teams though, and I like the spawn shenanigans, like the 6D chess. Good pull from Guangzhou. Oh, nice target focus there from the Spark, who are able to use their shields just a little bit better than the Charge. And I think they also put a lot of focus on the enemy shield during that fight, because Guangzhou's Fortify is actually forced out first, and normally when you see the enemy Orisa Fortify, you have the advantage, right? So both teams are fortifying now, but I think Rio Fortify is actually a little bit longer. They both end at the same time. Okay. A good Fortify from both teams. And Rio has another shield in 3 seconds. But look at the difference between Bazi and Nero here. Bazi's found an angle you freeze the enemy tanks at, doing a really good job. While Nero is kind of freezing the enemy shield, because there's out, you can't go like this, right? So Nero should either be mirroring Bazi or should be a little deeper. But this is rough, right? Because now Rio's either going to get frozen or... Okay. But actually, Eileen does a really good job dealing with Bozzy. Neptuno goes a little deep. And then just the good positioning and target focus from Spark of win then the fight. Eileen also almost gets Gushuei though. Nice freeze again from Bozzy. He freezes Krong on the side here. And yeah, they're just gonna win that fight because they are up with the Orisa, right? Especially in mirror comps. I feel like if 6v5, the enemy team has no ults, you should not lose the fight. Even though Spark got there a little bit late, they were still able to all walk out, right? The wall from Nero wasn't perfect. Good job. Okay, see you later, Jace. Thank you for hopping in. Yeah. Wall comes out here for Nero. This is a very good wall. Like the placement, it walls off two people here. The Mei and the Lucio. So very, very good wall. Generally, as the Mei, you want to not be walled off so you can wall the enemy team, right? But Bozzy's also walled here. I think Charge are able to get through just shooting the wall though. Godsby is able to just 2-tap it, right? The Reaper does do a lot of damage to the shield or to the wall. And then yeah, Spark are not in a good spot here. They end up getting out just in time, but Aria's in a tough spot. So really nice wall from Nero. Sets up that retake because it's really hard to retake on this map. Because these choke points, you know? So if Spark were all through and they were able to get that wall, that would have been a lot better, right? But Nero was able to get this wall on two people. And now they have an advantage. They've killed Rhea. Sigma is especially important, right? Because he has that big shield. Oh, but Rio gets walled off here. Good wall again. And he is going to die. Nice wall for Bozzy. And again, that's the defender's advantage, right? Charge has to go to point. So if they don't perfectly go to point, then Bozzy can wall them off. And I think the error there was that Nero walled off the left side and not the right side here. If he was able to put the wall in front of Bozzy, then Bozzy cannot put his own wall, right? And he can kind of walk in that way. Let's go back real quick. Yeah, so they walk in. Oh, Bozzy is on the left side. My bad, my bad. But Nero is looking to wall him off, but just a little bit too late, and Bozzy also get walled up. Makes it so Bozzy gets a perfect wall. And even though Charge get through, it's rough. Bozzy dies, but not before he gets his ult off. Krong staying alive somehow. Nero is also gonna stay alive. What? Okay, he's gonna die. Okay, so great mail from Bozzy. Good thing for Charge here is that they didn't commit too many ults, right? They still have almost all 5 of their, or like almost all 5 of these ultimates. But Spark only used a mail, so it was also a really good fight for them, especially because Rhea got killed so early, right? Bozzy being able to get that wall really turned that fight around for them. So if Nero's wall is just like 1 second earlier, Charge likely win that fight. Now a big ultimate fight. Wall comes out for Nero. That's a really good wall. I think Bozzy keeps kind of getting split from his Orisa with these walls, which on this point is not too bad, right? Because you can always go around like this, and you can still help your Orisa. But generally, you'd rather have Bozzy in the position Godsby is. These two were swapped. This would be perfect positioning right from the Spark. But now you're just gonna see the Spark walk around anyway. And it's really up to the Charge to kind of walk in fast now because Bozzy cannot wall them. Oh, but they get Pull Sigma ulted. So, wait, they didn't beat this? Okay. Oh, they were looking to Cole it. Okay, so you don't want to stack support ults, obviously. Like stacking the Lucio ult and the Moira ults, very bad. So they're looking to not stack these. And they're coalescing. But, and again, another great wall from Bozzy. And this is really showing that retaking into Mei is very, very hard. Completely splits off the coalescence and denies all healing for the Charge. The Reaper's down the other side too to kill the wall. So yeah. That map was a wipeout. Or, I mean, I'm gonna imagine that this fight isn't gonna be turned around. Because it really shouldn't be, you know? Kill Neptuno, please. It is showing how big that defender's advantage is into Mei. It's so hard to retake into Mei. And Charge almost did a really good job at it that second fight. But then again, Bozzy got really, really good walls. And that was very clean from the Spark. Okay, we get map 3 here. Instantly. Both teams playing Mei. Generally what you see is some teams will pick Doomfist here. And those teams rotate point right because Mei is so good in White Room. Because she can wall that choke right there. But both these teams are actually playing the Mei. And yeah, both these teams go on White Room. So, very interesting. Wait, where did Bozzy's wall go? What the frick? Wait a second. Dude, first the Hammond bug, and now a Bozzy wall that gets stuck in the wall. What? Okay, so he kind of just whiffs the wall, but also, that wall looks mighty delicious. That looks like some fucking ice cream right there. But pretty unlucky wall. Placed in a wall. Yeah, popsicle, that's what I mean. I didn't even know. So he obviously tries to get it right here. Does he get walled up and miss it because of that? No. The wall has not really come up from the ground yet. So he just missed it. That's rough. Not the end of the world, but it's still rough because now, because Nero does hit the wall, Spark kind of has to give up all the space and just play safe, you know? Good job on Rio to have actually put his shield through already. Pool comes out. It's only Lucio. Yeah, now, because Godsby was behind the wall, so he 2-tapped one of the sides, and both teams walk forward. Now Gushue is using his Fortify really early and very aggressively, which might be an error, like, because Rio still has his Fortify, right? So Rio can pop it a little bit later, have longer Fortify effect. And did Gushue really need it? He just put shield. Okay. This is good. Oh, okay, so both his shields are broken, I guess. Ria's shield is 500 HP. So maybe with the Sigma shield, he didn't need to use it yet. Then if the Sigma shield did die, he could have used it after. But either way, because his shield was dead, I get it, makes sense. And I really like this off angle for Krong and Nero. That's crazy good right there. like Krong and Aero showed exactly how you have to use the space they got from winning, or like from getting that first wall, right? Like Rio was kind of stuck behind the wall for a while, but Krong wasn't. So Krong could walk wide and sit over here. Sit basically on the smallest off angle ever, but it's still an off angle, right? He can wall this while Rio can shield this. So they've got this whole side, and they're pushing Spark into a corner. And Krong must be getting some fatty left clicks at some point. He blocks the Rhea thing. Rhea gets frozen because Nero freezes him. And then, yeah, that spells doom in this fight. Very good fight for the Charge. But on the other hand, because Spark took a lot more damage straight up, Bebe has farmed a lot of ult charge. So if they can get this retake with the coalescence going, that's a very good way to retake, right? Getting your coalescence first, especially like how much first he's getting it, right? He's already 10% off now, while Shu's still 40%. Eileen was hiding in the corner here, but Spark kind of just ran away from him, so that's a good movement. Ushiwei gets walled off. Ooh, and a very, very nice wall here from Bazzi. And this is something I saw Rascal do too yesterday, where these Meis aren't necessarily like blocking off a whole choke with their wall, but the popsicle here from Bazzi actually locks in Krong. Because Krong, he can either walk the long way around, right? But he's going to always try to go through the gap that might be there. But there's just barely not a gap. Krong's kind of pushed into the corner. Very stuck. Gets frozen, right? He's going to die. So very, very nice wall there from Bazzi. Great play from him. And now Spark have an advantage again. Eileen comes in for the flank. But forced out quickly, right? And again, Bebe has his coalescence. He farmed it faster than Shu because they took so much damage that first fight. And between the wall and Bebe's coalescence, Spark should not be able to lose this. Oh, so now Shu ends up using his coalescence. So Charge is saying, hey, we can still go ahead and win this fight. We're going to use our own coalescence. Neptuno dies to IDK though. Yeah, that coalescence did not do much for Shu. I get why he used it, right? He's like, I just got it. We're only one down. We can still win this fight. But it was just looking really good for the Spark there. Okay. So even though Charge won that first fight, they didn't really get too much out of it. Like, because Spark was able to get that Great Wall from Bazzi, yeah, they were able to just kill Krong like that, and then they also had the Moira ult quicker than the Charge. Okay, so another fight starts soon. Both teams are pretty far on their ults, but the big difference maker again is Bebe has a coalescence, and I feel like teams have started playing, like especially in the western region, teams have started playing around their coalescence so much. If you have it, the enemy team doesn't. You just use it really early. You force out all the enemies' cooldowns, their ultimates, that kind of stuff, and then you kind of just mirror their ults. So this fight is again looking very good for the Spark because they have that coalescence and the Charge does not, because Shu ended up trying to clutch that last fight. Okay. The Charge is going through White Room here. They kind of did a little fake where they acted like they were going through main. Then Bozzy kind of used this wall very early. It wasn't too good of a wall. Now the Charge are going straight through left side. But the mailed comes out too for Bozzy, so very early pull mailed, which is a great combo. And just because it doesn't freeze anything right now, doesn't mean it wasn't a good mailed, you know? I think it forced out all of Charge's defensive cooldowns. It didn't force the Reaper Wraith, okay. But it forced the Ice Block, the Wall, the Fortify. It forced Kronk to ult. Forced the Fade, and it's causing a split now too. And the speed boost too. So this was a really good mail. Like 0 people got frozen. But this is a massive value mailed still. Just because it's forcing so many like reactive cooldowns from the Charge. That's exactly what you want from an early ult like that. Because especially when there's so many ults in play, having to use all your cooldowns so early is very bad. So now Nero uses his ultimate. Interestingly enough. Okay, Bebe's also coalescing now. Bozzy gets frozen. Which I guess Bozzy didn't have his shift. He did not. Because he went aggressive to froze Mailton. Bozzy's probably going to die. IDK also gets frozen. Ooh, so very good second mail there from Nero. Freezes too. It's still winnable for Spark, however, as they've got their bongo up. That's 50% damage boost to everybody. Really good positioning there from Guangzhou. And the Charge is low. Let's see what they can still do here. And they're actually doing really good. This bongo is still up. The bongo's still up. It's gonna fade soon by itself, so I guess that's why Charge isn't focusing it, but okay. Bongo did die. And because the Spark are only 4 now, the Charge has used their more ult, which they got mid-fight. To close this out, I guess. Oh, wait, IDK uses beat. That's bad. That's really bad. Wait, they were doing so good. Like, if you look at the ult situation now, they just retake. There's mirror ults, right? So it's like still winnable for the Spark, and they're at 60%. They're only 4 right now, because 2 people just spawned. I guess IDK just wall rides back. He tries to clutch it with beat. Which, I mean, it's rough, but it's not the end of the world. Especially because they're still in control of point. But the point is that Guangzhou's died. That's like the bad part. And now they also lose point. And they're still only 4v6. The May's not there. But not a good beat. If Guangzhou was still alive, it would have been a really good beat. Wait. Wait a second. How does Godsby end up killing? Krong uses his shift to deal with Godsby walking in, I guess. Yeah, he used it earlier. And Godsby's ult comes out. He's shielded by Rhea. Ooh, and Godsby kind of just clutches. Gets frozen. Wall comes out. The beat comes out from Neptuno. Sigma ult comes out, but it might be a little bit too early. Like, the beat was still on people. Even though he could have done it just a second later, I feel. Because the beat was still full effect, right, on the entirety of the Charge. So now it kind of just took all of it. Did Rhea ult before the beat went off? I don't think so. Actually, farm this real quick. Oh my god, he got that many percent from one hit. Okay, so he gets it. Then he ults. Okay, yeah, so I think Neptuno beats before Rhea ults. Good beat there from Neptuno. Not a mistake by Rhea either. Krong tries to stun him midair, which is like sick, right? Because now when you get ulted up as Sigma, if the enemy Sigma flies in the air, you can try and rock him midair to cancel his ult. And Bebe is also coalescing. So suddenly this fight's starting to look pretty good for the Spark. Oh, Rio ends up getting away with 1 HP. Oh, he's gonna die. Okay. I judged that. IDK beat. But at the end of the day, they did come back and win that fight. Very clutch. Especially Godsby's ult was really, really clutch because Krong had just used his shift to kind of try and stop him just shooting him. So really good clutch there from the Spark, and I didn't expect them to win that fight. Now, they have like no ults coming up now. And the Charge have 4 ultimates. So Charge should really win this next fight. But still, Spark will go up to 99%. It's actually very close last map. And I think this is actually very smart from the Spark too. They decide not to fight really early, right? They decide to back up, farm their ults while the enemy team comes in. And kind of make the fight more even that way. Generally, what I see too is when teams have an ult disadvantage. You have to play slower, right? You have to kind of play to farm your ults. But when you have an ult advantage, so when you have more ults than the enemy team, you want to use them very fast. Okay, so the pull Sigma ult comes out for Krong. Good job by him. Godsby's on the point. It doesn't kill anyone, but again, it gets some cooldowns, right? I think it gets Gushue Fortify, and it gets Bozzy Shift, which is a big deal. Oh, and Godsby gets stunned on point by Krong. He just doesn't press his shift in time. And Nero also may ults. So yeah, good retake from Charge. They only used 1 ult, which is really good when you know the enemy team has 0 ults, right? But Spark did still get to 99. I think it's going to be 1 fight territory now. I guess Charge will hold close and then start backing up, because if they take the fight this early and they win it quick, right, Spark will get another fight. So to make it 1 fight, they kind of have to kite the point, which makes a lot of sense. So now it's in just this 1 fight territory. Charge is at 66%. And they have Coalescence and Reaper ult. And almost Bongo, which I guess is what they're trying to farm. And Spark is also getting a bunch of ults up. Big ult for the Spark is the Bozzy ultimate. Wall comes out. Godsby's gonna get forced out. Both teams use Coalescence. It's pretty good for the Spark that they get to use it second here. Being able to coalesce in second obviously makes it last like 1 or 2 seconds longer. Just how you'd rather like beat second. Eileen TP's in instantly ults, which... Wait, did Rhea not have shift there? Oh, Rhea didn't have shift. That's rough. Why did Rhea not have shift? He tries to... Okay, so... Rhea must not know that the enemy team is Reaper ultimate. Because you would never use your shift like that if you know the enemy team has Reaper ultimate, right? You always want to save the shift for the Reaper if you know he has Reaper ultimate. And even though he gets like to eat a bunch of stuff, right? Eileen knows there's no shift, so I'm just gonna TP and use my ult. He's also getting healed by the Coalescence still. Ends up dying, but he still got a lot done. Bozzy gets a pretty good ult. Bongo comes out for Rio. This is not looking great for the Spark anymore. We're doing a pretty good job earlier on the map. Oh, and they still have 2 ults up too. That's rough. Nice fight for the Spark there, actually. A very good ult from Eileen, who knew that the Rhea shift was down. I think if Rhea doesn't use his shift there, they have a really good chance of winning that. Oh, and IDK dies while trying to beat too. First he had to touch. But yeah. Good first map. Nice play from the Charge, but it was really close actually. Like, Chard is able to save that shift for the enemy Reaper, and he can't TP in like that. They have a really good chance of winning that map because they had an ult advantage at the end there. They had the Mei ult and the enemy team did not. Okay, let's get started with map 2, Dorado. And already very interesting from the Sparks defense is they are playing a hard spam comp. And I feel like we've seen some spam comps, right, in the Western games. But I feel like we've seen way more of the standard traditional spam comp in more of the Asian games, right? Really interesting that they're playing it. This, I really like this comp personally, especially on a map like Dorado where there's so much high ground, and even if you look at this, right, if you play around this area, it's still very long to get to that area with like a rush comp. So where the West has been playing like a ton of rush comps, Asian regions are going for more spam comps. Let's see what Charge's answer is to this. They done this for a few seconds, so I'm gonna assume it's this. They are also playing a spam comp, but with the Farah Mercy and with the Hammond, which is very interesting. I think both these comps are slow, right? But I kind of like the Sombra Farah counter because Sombra has a hard time hacking if the enemy team is like D.Va, but she actually is a pretty easy time hacking Sigma in compositions like this, right? You don't have too much direct damage. Most of the characters have projectiles, except for Baptiste, who's a hit scan. So it's rough and hard to stop the hacks from Eileen. And if you can hack the right targets and then you can like get onto them with the bow and the fair, it's like really good. So I kind of like this Charge comp here. And of course, normally with the Spark comp, you can swap to the Kree from the Hangzhou, and that's a very good counter. But obviously, McCree is banned this week, so hard to counter this fair. Maybe you can go for like the Tracer and then outpace her, but then the rest of your comp is still very slow. So I'm not sure what adaptation Spark will make here, and this is also my first time watching this VOD, so I'm very interested. Okay, so first up, Rio comes from behind, starts rolling in. He won't do too much because there's a Mei. And instantly you see like how big this point is, right? You see that the Spark backline have taken this, Rhea's holding this angle, and Gushue and Bazi are tasked with holding the point.
The cavalry's here.
Thank you for the follow, Krypton. So yeah, some of Spark already getting spammed pretty hard. Nero's gotten an angle. And Chargers taking their time. They're taking a long time to do this attack. But that's good, right? They have a pretty slow comp here for the Charge. But if they set it up properly and they get good hacks, that's when they can strike. Alright, I feel like in general, in the Asian games, the game is played at a slower pace. Like teams are setting up more and more. He gets spammed. Has to use this drone, so that's very good to get that cooldown out. Sorry guys. Okay, where were we? after big sneeze. Yeah, they got that cooldown out, and now all of Spark are already going low. They have no lamp cooldown anymore. Good slam down for Rio. Oh, but Nero ends up dying. To a very nice headshot from Godsby. Very hard to hit fair midair as Hanzo. Nice shots. And Nero really wanted to get into the fray there because it's very easy to hit the fair shots from close range, right? Because they're projectiles. A lot harder to do it from long range, but he went a little too far down, I think. Neptuno instantly coming in with the res and also dying. So that's very bad. Could he have used cover more here? So Neo ends up dying behind this. Oh. Yeah, I think if he had maybe rezzed on this side of the fountain and fallen down, would have been a lot better for just looking at the LOS here. Maybe trying to res in LOS of Shudo, who can then heal him. Shu doesn't end up healing him. But Neptuno also dies. And even though Spark is super low, right? They're taking a ton of poke. They're just gonna win this fight from here. And there's already 1.5 minutes off the clock here. Good defense so far from the Spark. Charge have a lot of ults now. But with the amount of setup they took and how well they played the whole setup phase, just a small mistake for Charge there ended up losing them that fight. But now they have a lot of ults. IDK also has ult, but the Baptiste ult obviously isn't as good as the Nano or the Pharah ult in this situation. Especially when you can hack the Sigma and then use the Pharah ult. Almost knocked over my coffee, but we're good. Saved. Again, Charge playing Spark playing very split, and this is really interesting to me. Like they've got IDK and Rio over here. Or Rio. Fucking hard. Okay. IDK and Rio over there. Where's the rest of our team? Bazi, Gushue are near the cart. They are on cart holding duty. And Bebe and Godsby are... Where even is Godsby? So Bebe and Godsby are here. So they're pretty spread out, and this is good, right? You don't want to be clumped up to like take fair rockets with multiple people. And again, Nero gets picked right before the fight. And he is like most of the damage for the Charge too, right? But being able to catch him is like really big for the Spark. I've done it twice now. So what? You get shot by IDK. You get shot more by IDK. He eats, but IDK just kills him. Oh, and I guess Godsby also hits him with a body shot. I guess they were looking to have Nero go in above the Spark and then have Shu nano him. So he tries to E in so he can catch the nano. But right at that moment, Godsby hits him with a body shot. Yeah. So nice shots by IDK and Godsby to take out Neo there. Oh, and Rio slams in, but Rio cancels it. Okay, so again, good hold here by Spark. And even though like this Charge composition is kind of a counter, right? If they play it properly. Spark's been able to hit some very good shots, especially Godsby stepping up on the Hangzhou. Okay, so Nero's behind the enemy team. Rio rolls in from behind, does a nice jump off the scooter, and then jumps up and then slams down right with the ult. Good Hammond mechanics from him. Bebe did not ult for some reason. Probably because he didn't expect the Pharaoh rocket to hit him midair. But if he could have ulted out of this Hammond ult, that would have been very good. Yeah, he tried just getting one more shot, I guess. Didn't expect to get hit by the Pharaoh rocket. Nice rocket from Nero. It ends up dying. Oh, he expected to get the drone from IDK. So IDK probably copped her. Hey, I got you. I'm gonna drone you. Don't use your transcendence. But Bebe ends up dying right before. Now the good thing here for Spark is that even though Bebe is dead, the cart hasn't moved far enough to where they only get one fight. So if Spark is smart here, they just take the L and die on cart. And I think that's exactly what they're gonna do. Ozzy gets a nice right click onto Shu. Gonna join Gushue on the card. Good job from the Spark there. And I think Charge wins this map. But this first point from the Spark has been a really good play. They're gonna have to retake here. They have a bunch of ultimates though. Charge have the EMP, which is obviously a great ultimate. But if Bebe is able to get his Transcendence out in reaction to the EMP, that's very, very good. Then they also have the Pharaoh ult and Krong's ultimate. Well, Spark here have 4 ultimates. And if they can get a good Mayout on the cart, that'd be very, very good. But it's hard to get a good Mayout, right, against this Charge comp because they are so mobile. They group up. A Bongo comes out here for Gushue. Great Bongo. Eileen's probably going to EMP here? No. He tries to like kind of bait Bebe into using Transcendence by uncloaking in front of him. And Neptuno ends up dying. Ron comes out with the ultimate to kill the Bongo and create space. Rhea almost gets booped in, but barely doesn't. Rock comes out. And this is looking pretty good for Spark still. Bozzy goes in hard, uses his ultimate, doesn't catch anybody. Tries to catch Shu, I guess. Rough. Let's see how that happened exactly. Get the Bozzy cam out. First he kills Neptuno. Oh my! That's disgusting. Holy shit! He's aimbotting. We need to get the .25 cam on this one. What is that shot? So he comes around the corner. Oh, he flicks up. He tries to hit Rio. Misses and hits Neptuno. Poor Neptuno. Whoa. What the fuck? Dude, I swear he wasn't trying to hit Neptuno there. There's no way he was. He was 100% trying to shoot Rio. Like, look. Rio's in the air. He looks at Rio. He tracks Rio, right? And then he just barely misses Rio. And the shot goes through. Neptuno. Boop. Flies right into it. Icicle bop in his head. Whee! And he's gone. Okay, we continue with Bozzy Cam. he goes for a flank right after. Sees Rio and Shu. And interesting that he didn't go to like freeze Rio and then ult him after, right? He instantly goes for the long range ult here on Shu. Which might not have been the right choice. Obviously not the right choice because he missed it. Ends up getting slept by Shu and hacked too. So he cannot use his shift and he dies. So big mistake there on Bozzy's part. Especially because they were 1-up and he just had that headshot onto Neptuno. Now Nero has no healing. But he's playing very safe. There's a lot of aerial high ground, right? On the Rado. And then Nero ults the backline here for Spark. The Spark, I think if Bozzy had used his ult and hit Shu or hit Rio, they likely would have won this fight because they were already 1-up. But Nero, even without pocket, goes above Bebe. He has no clue. Barrages him. Bozzy comes back from spawn. Nice barrage. And yeah, that could just spell the fight here because Bozzy is also dead. The Spark actually were a really good hold there on first, and they could have actually had the full hold on this first point of the Rado if they played it a little bit cleaner. If Bozzy didn't end up getting slept and hacked there, or even whiffed his ult, or hadn't whiffed his ult, you know. Sure, did end up using a bunch of ultimates. They used the EMP, they used the Mercy ult, they used the Pharah ult, and they used the default. So it's not the end of the world here for Spark. But again, Bebe wasn't able to get his Transcendence off, which is massive. Like, he's sat on this one. First he gets Hammered Slammed and then Pharah Rocket, and now he just gets Pharah Barraged before he's able to use it. That is rough. Bozzy swaps over to Sombra, which is a great counter to the Hammered, right? So, good swap there. Interesting rotation coming out here for the Spark. You'd think that they just go high ground, but they're actually going far left. I don't think I've seen this rotation before. Why wouldn't they just go out high ground here and then go to cart? I guess because they want to kind of dodge the Pharah spam. But still, this pathing doesn't really dodge the Pharah spam either. Yeah, they're out in the open now. They don't have high ground. I don't want to call this a mistake, but I think this is not good. Because now, Charge just has the high ground. I'm not sure why nobody's pushing the cart here for Charge. I guess Spark can contest it from this corner. But yet, Spark did such a great job holding space on that first point. But now they've given up all the space and they're in a little box, you know? They had taken this high ground. They had a lot more space. I guess Bozzy's over here. Interesting. Let's see how this plays out then. Oh, Eileen just gets clapped, dude. That makes it really easy. Yeah, Eileen goes behind. Hack IDK. He gets the hack too. But he just gets headshot by Bebe. Nice headshot. And I guess because you are in cover here from the Pharah, this is a really good spot for the supports. But still, there's not that much shield for the tanks, right? They've only got 600 from the Orisa and then 900 from the Sigma. So the Pharah just outspams that. No? Maybe not. Not sure. Anyway, good job by the supports here from Spark. We pick Eileen. Strong ends up getting demeched because he has to go push cart. But Nero ends up killing Godsby. Who is Nano too. So Nano on Nero. He gets done a lot. And Bebe actually transcendences now, but 2 of his teammates are already dead, so it's a 2 for 2. Shu is still on the high ground. Shu heard Bazi uncloak, but it was low ground. He was like, ah! Okay. The Charge is still taking high ground, but this is actually a really good spot for the Spark, however. Bebe's in a very safe space. And they have cover here, and they can still contest cart. So I guess Spark is just playing to stall cart here, kind of. Oh, nice pull there from Gushue onto Shu. Almost kills him. Nero then comes in with Barrage. Rio blocks some of it, doesn't block all of it. And Charge win the fight that way, but Charge again used a lot of ultimates. They used Hammer ult, Barrage, and Nano. I guess they farmed their ults very quick. Godsby's now swapped over to Tracer. Oh, and they're all swapping off. Maybe they could have just went for the Ash swap and maybe the Mercy swap and then stayed on the tanks. Because Gushue is 90% on his ult. I think Arisa ult's so damn good. I'm not sure if you want to swap off that. Especially when the Charges has no ult. I think this is a little too many swaps for the Spark. They've just swapped off of every single ult. That's rough, because they're not going to be able to farm their ults anymore if they want to hold this point specifically. So I don't think that was good swaps. I think you can stay on that comp, right? Maybe you can only swap the Sigma to the D.Va, because D.Va is very good against Fair. Okay, they get a hack on Rio though, instantly, which is very good. Hacking ball is really, really good. Rio gets bursted down, probably going to die. Yes. A nice job there from Grisha to kind of block the healing with the bubble. Tuno's next. A really good hack from Bazi opens up that whole fight. And now Chart is going to have a rough time getting the point. They still have a bunch of ults though, so if they do get the point, they have a big ult advantage on the Spark. Bazi also has the Bazi has the EMP, and Eileen's really close, I guess. Eileen. Rio goes for Orisa because I guess he doesn't want to be on Hammond anymore against his enemy team comp. He just got hacked. He didn't have his ult. But it's a good swap in my opinion. Go for Orisa. Then, if you're about to get EMP'd or hacked, you can use your Fortify. Kind of stay alive that way. He has to go touch point. And it's looking pretty bad because Shu isn't even close yet. So yeah, Rio's going to get focused on here. He has to use Fortify, which is horrible. Bazi's ult comes out. Gets both Rio and Krong. They have to stay on cart. Neptuno pops the ult though. Q also throws in a big nade to heal his team up. So Charge not looking too bad here. They've countered the only ult Spark really had. They're now regrouped and they have a bunch of ults. They use their own EMP, 6-man EMP. Damn. That's a perfect EMP. Holy crap. He ease in. Everybody from the Spark is in range of his EMP, so very good E. And then boom. It gets everybody. Perfect EMP. And then yes, it's cleanup for Charge. So they didn't really dive in with the EMP from Bazi, I felt. Maybe they could have gotten more out of that. Go back. Because they have such mobile characters that you'd think that they could follow up more on the EMP. Right, Rio doesn't have Fortify, so he should insta-die, no? Okay. So yeah, Bozzy comes up. Just Rio and Eileen right now. Rio's playing bait. They get his Fortify very nicely, right? And then Bozzy EMPs. Oh, and then Gushue is also EMP'd. Or hacked at least right now. So that's why there's not enough follow-up here. Still think there could have went more people for Rio. He's just gonna lose his Fortifier. He's hacked. And now he's very, very vulnerable, right? And the Diva's also hacked. So maybe Godsby and Eileen could... they are focusing him. It's just the healing that comes in. It's really good. And it was a really good hack on Gushue actually. Stop that. Ooh, and now now the Spark even gets some bad spawns. They're gonna get cleaned up. That's rough. Gushue especially is going to get staggered. Just Gushue actually. Charge swap over to a more tanky brawly comp, which is very good into the Spark comp, right? As I've talked about before, the May Reaper does very, very good into especially the Winston, but also into the Sombra Tracer, right? Because they kind of just outpace the enemy. But also very good into the Winston. So I imagine that Spark might also swap. Yeah, Bozzy swapped off the Sombra, but they're not swapping off the Winston Diva because they're close to ults. Got to be set up behind. Gushue dives in really deep because he has ultimate, I guess. Oh, he doesn't have it yet. He's also purpled. Is he gonna get it? Oh, he's not gonna get it. That's so rough. Wow, he was so close to his ult. If he gets it there, Spark win this fight 100%. But now they might not. Ooh, good pulse bomb from Godsby. Gets Eileen. So 1 for 1. Dude, they're just staring at each other. The Diva bomb comes out. For Rhea. Drops in, gets the shield. It doesn't get too much. And the Bongo comes out here for Rio. That needs to die very, very fast. Gushue drops in, gets onto Shu though. Nice job there. And maybe it's rough that Charge is still stuck on this Ana, right? Maybe they could have used that Nano a little bit faster so he can swap off to the Moira now. But yes, Gushue ends up ulting. There's a Bongo and a Bongo damage boosted Reaper though. Gushue has to get out. Bongo ends up dying. The beat comes out for IDK. Health comes out for Nero. Very nice fight. For the Charge, I think. Oh, actually for the Spark, I mean. I'm a dummy. Krong's Nano boosted, but again, when you're in a 2v4, or 2v5 even, and the enemy has faster spawns than you. Probably not gonna win that. And yeah, I feel like good defense, right, from the Spark, especially on first point. But still, there were some errors, right? They could have definitely avoided some small mistakes. Especially on that point where they had a lot of ults coming up and they were just coming out of spawn, and Spark only had like one or two, and then they swapped all of their characters to a counter comp, that is, but literally swapping all your characters from like 80% ult isn't good Overwatch, right? You'd rather swap one or two to make more of a slight counter composition, and then play that way, right? Okay, let's see here. Charge again. Rolling out with the Pharah Sombra. This time they're going for the Winston, because Bozzy keeps picking the Sombra to counter the Hammond from Rio. And now he's going to play Winston, because a Winston does a lot better against the Sombra, right? If he puts a shield down, he cannot get hacked. And Hammond can always get hacked. So. Just eating a bunch of rockets. They're setting up. Got to be bottom right. Where's Bozzy right now? Oh, Bozzy's on the high ground. The flankers for the Spark are just setting up. They have a lot of healing, right, with Bebe there. Actually froze out damage orb. That's very interesting. Yeah, he doesn't have healing anymore. Now he has healing orb. Bebe's just farming ult right now. So is Nero. Card hasn't pushed too far. But the flankers from Spark have set up and they found Shu. Ooh. They all dive on Shu, however. But Shu kind of evades. Let's watch this again. They find Shu. Shu gets healed. The hack comes in onto Shu. He's already naded himself. Kushui comes in. And then nice counter dive there from Rio. Good evade there from Shu. Do not die to that dive. Now Nears is still spamming cart. IDK's dodging the rockets, but with the Pharah buff, the AoE from the rockets does a lot more damage. Spark has brought the cart to the arch right. From here, they can either go top left, which is a pretty good rotation, or they can dive straight away, which is what they're deciding to do. They're trying to keep connecting with Shu, but that dive was really long from Shu, and he keeps getting counter dived. They have the coalescence going though. Wow, they keep Rio up too. So Bebe used the coalescence and they got a lot of space from it, but they didn't kill anybody with it. They're not looking too bad for the Charge here, who now have their Nano and their Pharah ult up. Oh, and they Nano Pharah. Generally what Pharahs do to you when they're nanoed is they first just shoot some rockets. They try to get like the Matrix out from Rhea. And then after that is when they barrage, right? Once Rhea's used the Matrix. So yeah, Rhea uses the Matrix now. Nero actually just barrages him straight up. Yeah, and Rhea doesn't have enough Matrix left to fully counter that barrage. So good counter engage here from the Charge. After that coalescence was over, right? They realized that Spark had hit a power spike, right, with the Coalescence. It's really strong for the rush comp. And they countered it really, really well. Now, Shu in the back is going to die this time, though. But still, I don't think there's any way that Charge are going to throw this fight away. Now, that was good. There's only 2 ults, right? So, very, very good fight. Eileen's got EMP. Bozzy's not even close yet because all the dives that they set up haven't really been too successful. So, he's had to TP out a lot. Okay, Rio gets poked out. The bubble is forced out, which is really good for the attacking team. Where is Ushui right now? Oh, he's behind the enemy team. Very good. He's gonna get onto Shu. Oh, nice sleep from Shu. Holy crap. Also the EMP to also help Shu. But after the sleep, they didn't need that. But I still get why they did it. Beat comes out for IDK. Very good beat. And Rhea also bombs Shu. Okay. Again, that was a really good fight for Spark. Like, I don't know how Gushue got behind the enemy team. Let's just watch that real quick. How does Gushue get on the flank? Oh, but we gotta dig deeper. We gotta go back further. What? Where is he? Okay. Previous fight. Dive Shu. Gets Shu. Gets hacked. Then his team loses. He gets chased. He's just jumping from health pack to health pack. Nero leaves him alone. And then right as his team set up, back in position, now he's got the flank on Shu. Yeah, Nero had to kind of leave him there, because if he's gonna just look at Gushue in his back line, then his team's just gonna get run over, right? Whew. Oh. Rio gets pulse bombed. He ults though. Where does he jump to? Holy crap. So far. Yeah. EMP comes out and then the beat comes out. A really good job beating that EMP. That was basically only on Gushue, which he was already slept. So not good value from that EMP. And so Spark wins that fight. Good first point attack for the Spark. No swaps come out for Charge. Another Coalescence is about to come up for Bebe, and they have EMP. So this next fight is also looking pretty good for the Spark. They found They found Shu again. Oh, they're just focusing card, I guess. Oh, Coalescence comes out, but it's very early, and he's not really able to get on anybody. Okay, Nero gets hit, but yeah, the high ground cover here for Charge. Doing a really good job for them, and then Eileen somehow hacks Godsby. Bozzy EMPs, also dies. That's not a good EMP. Yo, Baragis. Baragi. Good fight for the Charge there. Really nice hack onto Godsby from Eileen, and let's watch that from his perspective real quick. Because it's pretty hard to hack Tracer, right? if she hears the hack sound. Oh, he just gets it from the high ground somehow. And then Godsby even blinks inside, but he's just barely in LOS. That's rough. Godsby doesn't get hacked there. Still, I didn't get much value from the Coalescence. And then also the EMP comes out for Spark. Charge only if to use the barrage. So very good fight for the Charge. And now, again, they're gonna go engage first. They nano Rio. Rio almost has his ultimate too. Rio gets forced out though, so not much value from Nano. I feel like Nano and Nero has done a lot more for them in the past. And Rio drops. And I really like dropping. Well, if you're able to, right? As Winston, drop from high ground to low ground. And then once your bubble breaks, you can just jump out, right? It's very, very safe what Rio's doing. And he won't push too far out of his boundaries from his shield, right? Because really, it's Spark that has to make the move here. They have the fast comp. And it's very hard to make a move onto high ground. Maybe what Spark can do instead of like doing all this, right? They keep going under the enemy team when they don't really have a slow team comp, right? Charge is fine just sitting there. Maybe what the Spark could do is like go high ground and then rotate from Church and then look for a play, you know? Instead of just keep going under and do nothing, maybe they could rotate Church. And that would be better, in my opinion. This is very hard for the Spark to do anything from down there. I feel like they have to get a hack on like somebody that drops, because it's not like they have Orisa and they can pull people from the high ground. More spam comes in. They actually get Eileen. I guess Eileen gets hacked. Oh, his translocator gets destroyed. Okay, so his translocator was in a very random spot, and IDK just finds it. Yeah, that's rough. If he just has that translocator like here on the high ground, there's no way that gets found. Or like even in the little room here. This was not a good spot for that translocator. And now he just dies. Yeah. Bomb comes in. Doesn't get too much value. It's pretty hard to get big value out of bomb, right? Especially like when you throw it into engage. Yeah, they've just killed Eileen. Rhea sees Nero shift up, so he's trying to Diva bomb the Pharaoh Mercy. The bomb, however, doesn't go far enough, and then Neptuno just barely dodges it. Oh, Rio gets hacked. Nice hack there from Buzz. This is still looking okay for the Spark. They have their Coalescence, but Charge have so many ults right now. They've just used their Winston ult. They have almost every single other ult up. Rio chases down Bozzy. Doesn't get too much. Bozzy's translocator was actually in there. I pointed earlier. Bebe coalescences, but again, she's trying to chase after Gushue with the coalescence. Has a really hard time healing him. Oh. The barrage comes out here for Nero. And Charge just win another fight, and they don't even use... I guess they use their Nano Barrage, their Valk. But the good thing about this comp here for Charge, I feel, is they can use the Nano Barrage, and then they can EMP the next fight, and then they can Nano Barrage again, you know? Now it's really up to IDK to kind of beat the EMP, or like not get EMP'd and then beat. But if Eileen's allowed to hold on to it, you know, then Neptuno could just be zoned. It's kind of like those mind games, right? Of like between the Sombra and the Lucio. I feel like it's a really big mind game of Sombra against Lucio, because Lucio has to hide from the Sombra when she has EMP, right? Because if the Sombra just gets a really big EMP on all of Spark, including Lucio, they just die. But if the Lucio doesn't get EMP'd and the rest of Spark get EMP'd, he's able to beat them, and then it's really good for the Spark. So it's up to Eileen, kind of, to either not ultimate or to ultimate and make sure he also gets Lucio. And it's up to IDK to not get ultimated on by the enemy Sombra. So there's like that game of the Sombra against the Lucio. And I really want to see how that pans out in this next fight. Yeah, let's actually look at Eileen and see what he's doing. So, Spark dive in. Eileen has that EMP. Tries to go hack Bazi. He actually has to teleport out. Pencil Kiddo was in a really good spot though, so he's with his team again. Let's look at where IDK is real quick. So you see IDK is like playing away from his team. He's having to hide, while Eileen doesn't really have to hide. So if this game just keeps up, then it's kind of a 6v5 here for the Charge, because IDK has to hide because he cannot get EMP'd, and Eileen can shoot because he's the one with the EMP, right? So let's keep watching this fight. He's doing a bunch of damage. Oh, he almost hacked Rhea. The EMP comes out for Bazi. Doesn't hit anyone somehow. Let's go back real quick. Why does this EMP from Bazi not hit anybody? Oh shit. Yeah, Bazi is to teleport back. Gonna walk out again. Put his translocator on the pack. And then he just EMPs. I guess he tries to hit Rio over here. But that is not a high value EMP. He doesn't even get the bubble from Rio. He's trying to peel for Bebe, but not a good EMP there for Bazi. And let's keep looking at this kind of 1v1 between the Lucio and the Sombra. Yeah, the Lucio's still hiding. Eileen is over here. I guess he's gonna spot the Lucio now. Oh, he tries to get the EMP off, but he actually gets hacked. And because he gets hacked, IDK beats. So this is really smart from IDK, right? They're probably still gonna lose this fight. But IDK actually played this kind of game perfectly, right? Where he was hiding, then he knows now, hey, Eileen gets hacked. So now I can beat, right? Because Eileen's been sitting on the Sombra just so IDK cannot beat. And that's kind of what, you know, when the casters talk about the Sombra Lucio mind games, that's kind of like what it is, right? I think it's really interesting. Now, Spark lose this fight, one, because Bazi's ult wasn't good at all. And two, Charge's comp is better in long fights. But it also was a big part just due to Eileen's patience, right? If Eileen's ults there very early on, and the beat from IDK is able to come out very early, that's very bad for the Charge, because then Spark can go very aggressive with the beat. But now, even though Eileen gets hacked and IDK is able to beat, they're still already 2 down, so they're likely to win this fight, lose this fight still. Eileen even gets unhacked just in time and TP's out. So very good fight from the Charge. And also nice job by IDK to just hide, save his beat, and then beat when Eileen gets hacked. Let's keep watching this here. Bebe ends up ulting. But yes, now Eileen finally also gets his Sombra ultimate off. Because he was hacked earlier, he doesn't end up dying, he ends up translator kitting out. And now he comes in, he hacks free people. A lot more value from his ultimate than Bazi did. And that's going to seal the fight here for the Charge and how they hold the second point. Good map there from both teams. Holy crap. Oh, it actually ends a little bit early. But the map did end in a Charge win. Rio keeps picking the ball into Mei, but he does not pick the ball into Sombra. And I think that's mostly because this whole Spark comp is kind of stationary, right? So it's easy to kind of group them up if you take all the angles from them. But when they play Sombra, then they're not going to be as grouped. The Sombra's always going to be on an off angle, right? He is so mobile and so safe. But very interesting. Okay. Let us continue. So here on Eichenwald, we've again, just like on Dorado just now, got this Spark. Spam comp right here. And then on the attack, we've also got this Charge sort of spam / dive comp. The tanks are very dive heavy, right? But then the DPS are very spammy. So it's like a mix where they're trying to take all the angles away from the Spark, trying to force them in a little area, and then they're trying to hammer slam them and Pharah rocket them, etc. Right? So it's a mix between dive and spam. But Pharah is really good at taking angles away, right? So, and of course this Spark team can't really speed on anybody. And they're already playing very, very far back. But just like we just saw on Dorado, this Spark comp can work into the Charge comp. Very interesting. So they're playing inside with their supports, right? So they cannot get spammed out. Bebe is over here inside. He is dodging Neo's LOS. Gatsby's kind of inside too. He's just peeking out for shots, right? And then IDK is over here inside. So the Pharah actually has a hard time spamming supports. So he's probably just going to end up spamming shields a lot. But Pharah actually doesn't do that much shield damage. Especially because you also have to pick the Mercy, right? So I like this positioning from the Spark. Eileen is up there looking for hacks. And they're not coming out to contest when they don't have to. They're only contesting when Rio's contesting. Which is also really interesting, right? So I love this positioning from the Spark, even though it's mega super passive. They have really good chance at just getting picks, right? If they can pull plus rock somebody, which is a very strong combo, especially when we saw the Shock play, they used this combo really well. They can pull plus rock anybody, right? So they have to kind of play safe. Especially the Pharah Mercy still has to play safe, right? If he's right above the point and he's used shift, it's hard to get out of the pull rock combo. Rio rolls in. That's a drive-by right there. Forces out the drone, which they might not have needed. But yeah, this kind of free spit here from the Sparks is very strong. Another shield comes out for Gushio. He goes on the point again. Meanwhile, Godsby and Ria are trying to push out. Krong's actually really low in the corner here. Krong's probably going to get demeched. He didn't expect to get pushed, I guess. And that is really good for the Spark. And they almost have the Hangzhou ult too, so Godsby's been doing a lot. Ozzy goes up on the high ground. Pushes out Rio. Oh, and Nero actually gets nano boosted up top here. Very, very interesting. So they're nanoing Nero, even though Krong has just been demeched. And now Nero has to go very, very aggressive, and he can't really spam anyone because they're just playing inside. So yeah, Nero drops down. Rhea gets spammed out. They get the drone down. So very good drone there from IDK actually, who's on the other side. Nero gets healed through it. But still, they just used nano. And they didn't get anything, which has been a big win condition for the charge before on this comp. Rio again rolls through. He's 1 HP. I'm surprised nobody killed. Oh, okay, he did get killed. And the Spark with such an interesting hold. Like, I love how they're having, you know, all the supports inside so they can't get spammed by Fair. And have Gushue and Rhea both on off angles and have touch in turns, right? When Gushue can't touch anymore, Rhea touches, but it's mostly Gushue touching. And it's been very hard for Rio to find value and for Nero to find value. Even though Nero just got nano boosted, he was not able to do a whole lot. Oh, and Bozzy's able to pick Eileen up as well. So far, this hold from Spark looks impenetrable. Eileen spamming in from the side, and Bozzy just 2-taps him. Okay. IDK also used his ult there. Didn't get too much value of that, but still. Doing a good job. They're still doing this hold. Rio's actually swapped off the Hammond here to the Winston because he wasn't able to do anything, right? He swapped over to the Winston. Probably a better pick in my opinion. Because Winston can sit around corners and can zap inside, right? Hammond can't really do anything inside, especially when the shields are there for Gushue and Rhea. Interesting Winston swap. Oh, he's already doing a lot actually. Holy crap. Let's see how Charge set this up. So Nero and Neptuno on this side here. They're spamming this side now. Of course, Rhea is shielding the spam. Eileen's over here. It looks like Rio just dives Godspeed. A really nice nade comes in from Shu as well. The drone is probably going to have to come out from IDK. It does. But Godspeed gets booped out of it, but he's still not dead. He walks back into the drone. So Krong could have actually killed Godspeed there if he knew he was that low. But he just flew through. So very unlucky for Krong. And Bebe actually trances. So I don't think they needed that transcendence. So what goes from like super mega good hold for a Spark? Why did he transcendence here? Oh, I guess he was scared for Eileen's ultimate? Does Eileen decloak? No. Bebe just goes to half HP. And oh, he ults because he thinks he's gonna get shot by the Pharah again. So it makes sense to ult to live there. It's just rough that he did have to ult there. Because obviously that, you know, that ult didn't get too much value. You'd rather use it against the EMP or against the Pharah ult. Now though, Charge have forced Spark in a lot rougher of a spot, right? I like that Bebe's still playing inside. I like that Eileen or Godspeed still taking off angles though. They've kind of found their new home. Oh, and the EMP comes out for Eileen. And I think he tries to get Bebe with that. But Bebe actually dodges it. Rhea and Gushui get hit, however. Nice job fortifying for Gushui to kind of counter that. And Rhea getting hit isn't too big a deal as well. So actually Spark did a really good job dodging the CMP. Wow. And then Bazzi comes in with a great mail. Freezes the Winston, and I guess he also freezes... Oh no, he doesn't freeze the Sombra. Just the Winston, but that's worth. And Eileen just stays in a little bit too long. Doesn't expect Godspeed to headshot him. Godspeed with a nice flick gets Eileen. And then Rio dies also to Godspeed. And Godspeed kills another one. And another one. But this is just cleanup, right? Very good fight from the Spark again. And even though they kind of got that trance forced out of them, right? They were able to find a new retirement home away from the Farah. And they were able to dodge Eileen's ultimate, who got a very poor EMP there. And now all Charge's eggs are in one basket, I feel. All their eggs are in the Nano Barrage basket for this next fight. But looking at the length of this map, they do succeed. Okay, so they're playing in their spots again, right? They have the Rhea, Godspeed, Bebe inside left side. And then Bazzi, Gushui, IDK inside the right side room. Let's see how the Charge crack this. Rio jumps in front of the choke here. He gets nano boosted. So Nano Whitson, obviously very good when he can zap free people like this. Gushui comes out and ults though. And they're actually killing Rio very, very fast. They insta-kill Rio, so very good job from them there. They're able to get the drone out too. And they're able to heal Bebe up. So wow. Good start to that fight for Spark. Denying the Nano Winston, even killing him. Hey, Hangzhou Krong eats it, nice job from him. Now how do the Charge win this fight? Nero is able to barrage IDK. Huh. And the Bongo as well, but the Bongo's already 1 HP. IDK pops his ult. He gets killed. He didn't have to drone anymore. But very nice flank here from Nero. He does not kill Gushui. Gets him to 1 HP though, and then Neptuno with the insta-res. Onto Nero. He is going to die though. And Shu also dies to Rhea. So it's definitely not a one fight yet here for the Charge. They're still free up. Their Winston is coming back currently. It's a free V4 actually for the Spark. They get Bebe. Nero. Where is Nero right now? How does he get Bebe? Oh, he goes for the flank. And Bebe's not playing inside. But Bebe gets picked this time. And Rhea wasn't able to like shield him off because he's got a touch point. Then Rhea goes and ults, but he gets hacked out of it by Eileen. So nice job. He wasn't going to hit anybody anyway. Godspeed does kill Nero, but at this point, the point control for Charge is too strong. And even though people get back, the spawns are shorter for the Charge as well, and they've swapped over to Lucio Moya. Good swaps there too. That was a very, very good hold for the Spark on this first point though. and a really good strat against the fair comp. Like, that was obviously something they studied, and they executed it really, really well. So good job, especially on the Spark coaching staff there, honestly. Okay, we continue a second point. And now Charge only have 2.5 minutes left. Okay. Early EMP from Eileen. I do like this though, because they're playing a very, like, it's the mirror, right? And they're playing a very rushy comp. And the tanks from Spark have just dropped to contest the payload. It's just the tanks, but if they can burst the tanks before the rest of the team even comes in, that's fantastic, right? Gonna try and burst Gushue here. And they do end up doing so. And there's just a lot of instant hit scan damage from Sombra Tracer, which they swapped off the Pharah because 1, Pharah isn't as good on the second point, and 2, Spark are now picking a counter comp position, right? They swapped off their Orisa comp. Pharah doesn't do very good into the Spark composition, especially because there's now a Diva as well, right? So good swap from Nero, and now it's just a mirror. A mirror where Charge is now in command, right? They have a lot of ultimates. They've just won this fight with only EMP. They're now going to have Coalescence, both tank ults, and Beat. So this retake's going to be tough for the Spark, actually. They walk out. They rotate up to the high ground. Bazi's a little behind, but that's good, right? He's very safe. It's good if he can play somewhere where he can hack people from. Rio uses his bubble. So does Gushue. Shu comes out with the early Coalescence, and they also Winston ult. This might be a little bit early because Spark hadn't even gone out of their choke yet. They're getting pretty low. But to use both these ults, like maybe they could have just used the Winston ult and not the Coalescence yet. Or just the Coalescence and not the Winston ult. Gushue still has his ult too. Oh, they eat Nero's Pulse Bomb, so nice job by Rhea. Gushue actually kills Nero. That's really bad for the Charge because they had so many ults there too. Tries to go for the sticky and he gets hacked. What is that hack, dude? It's just a random Bazi hack. Catches Nero and it goes so quick. Yeah, Nero gets hacked and he gets killed. That's looking pretty good for the Spark here. Charge have already used 2 of their ultimates. Now Gushue has his ult, and Bebe also has farmed the Coalescence in that little room. Gushue is going to use his ult. What was Bazi hacking? I guess he was just holding the hack like straight in front of him. He's trying to hack the Winston, I guess? Yeah. Oh, he was already hacking the Tracer before he blinked in? Tracer canceled his hack though. And then he tries to hack the Winston instead. Yes? Oh, yeah, he's trying to hack the Winston. What? He's trying to hack the Winston? And Nero walks into the hack. And he gets targeted instead. So Rio is going to get hacked. But Nero blinks in instead. Tries to sticky. And he gets hacked out of it. And his sticky gets eaten. Poor Nero, dude. That is like blinking into a Widow headshot. But yeah, Nero gets hacked instantly. And he dies. Very rough. Guangzhou then jumps in, ults. Nero is already dead. Chart has already used their own Coalescence and Winston ult. And now Bebe and Guangzhou are both ulting. So this fight is looking very dire for the Charge now. They use Diva Bomb. Krong's able to land on the high ground, which is very, very good for him. And now also Krong gets chased down. Krong might even get staggered here for a while if he is not able to live. Shu is somehow able to live though. Krong is still not dead. The pulse bomb comes out. IDK is 1v1ing Nero here on the point, and suddenly, because the Charge have stalled for a while, this fight looks very winnable for them again. Godsby's hacked currently, but he's gonna get unhacked soon. Oh, is he gonna die? Oh, the beat comes out from IDK, but it doesn't hit Godsby. It does hit Godsby, okay. So Godsby's able to live because of a nice IDK beat. Neptuno also beats. Doesn't get Eileen, but gets the rest of his team. The bomb comes out. Oh, it hits Krong. Was he mid-flight? Oh, Krong gets booped off the map by the Diva Bomb. That's very rough. Poor Krong, dude. So he's trying to flee from the Diva Bomb. Shifts away. And then because the Diva Bomb is like next to him, air height, it boops him, propels him forward. And he gets booped off the map. And because Diva no longer has the 3-second booster actually, he's not able to get his booster back. Oh, he wouldn't have had it with the 3 seconds either. But very nice Diva Bomb there from Rhea. The EMP also comes out to add insult to injury from Bazzi. And then the counter EMP from Eileen. It's too little too late. They're already 3 down. But nice hold there from Spark. But that was mostly because their first point hold was so damn good. I love what they did there. With like the separated free split. Very good hold here from the Spark actually. And their defenses have actually looked great. Like the Spark defenses in particular have looked great. On last map they kind of panicked and swapped off their comp. If they wouldn't have, I think they would have held second on the Rado too. Spark rolls out. They're gonna go scout, I guess. But because Charge have been running this comp religiously, they're already going their rush comp. Should counter this comp, right? Okay, instantly goes to push out Eileen. It's 15% though, pretty good for Sombra. They're still spamming for Nero. I like this inside positioning and then though for the Spark. They're using the inside, then they're gonna rush out on somebody. And possibly also look for a hack while doing that, right? So yeah, Spark walks out. Rhea, good matrix. Now they're looking for a dive target, really. Because if they just sit there, do nothing, they're gonna lose. They're starting to rotate the point. Bazzi's been forced to TP out, which is rough, and now Bebe just dies. That was very slow, actually, from Spark. Like they walk out, they do a good job walking out, but then they're not sure on who to go. Bebe here has his shift. Oh, and he doesn't shift. Okay. So rough there. That was bad. Like they're rushing now. But they weren't rushing earlier. And Bebe actually dies before the fight started. He even had his shift up. They do end up getting shoot. But Guangzhou dies. But imagine if Bebe had shifted forward with his team. Okay, they're still doing really good. Even if Bebe's dead, They've still killed Rio and Krong. And Shu even. They're actually in a 5v3 right now. Yeah, Chart has to give up space there. Luckily, probably going to get a recontest here though. Especially Nero can touch for a little bit. Oh, are they going to get it? Oh, Rio touches the point just in time. Very good. He puts his bubble down. But this gives Spark a big advantage here, right? Godspeed also almost has his pulse bomb. Yeah, they're just gonna counter dive Rio here, and he should die very quick. Wow, he didn't die. Oh, he did die, okay. Now, Krong is on the point though. So they're doing a good job of rotating point aggro. And Godspeed even gets a sticky on the Shu. So this fight should be a done deal for the Spark. Oh, Bebe also again dies though. But Godspeed's just popping off, and let's watch this fight from his perspective. Damn. Baby. I mean, Smazoi, even in this game, there's Ria and Rio. I'm having a tough time here, okay? And Hangzhou and Guangzhou also sound similar. But let's watch Godspeed POV here. He did a great job. Oh, he just randomly spots the enemy Sombra. Oh, he melees her out of the form too. Nice job. Goes ahead and finishes Rio off. Doing his job. And then he walks up to Shu. Shu doesn't know. He doesn't even stick it, but just no way Shu's getting out of that one. And then good calculated blink usage gets him onto Neptuno very smoothly as well. And then yeah. It's just that the charge had a really hard retake, right? Like Rio kind of had the suicide touch. Makes it very rough for them. I wonder if Charge is going to swap anything. No, they are not. They're sticking to the comp. Farah's also pretty good on this early part of the second point though, because this is very good cover right for Farah. Like all of this area, there's this high ground and there's this high ground. A lot of high ground you can play from. It's also very easy for the Ana to help you. And for the Mercy to stay safe. So you see how Nero's already like floating above the enemy team. That's very good. Let's see here. Gushue's on the flank. He's going on to Shu. Gushue is actually very good at getting behind the enemy team unnoticed. And being able to get on the enemy Ana without using your jump is critical, right? Because then if the enemy team tries to counter dive you, you can just jump away and you've baited all their resources. So very good job by Gushue to just get onto Shu like this. Shu now has to hit the sleep. Oh, but Gushue jukes it. He dodge jumps over the sleep. Keeps going on to Shu. Shu's getting pocketed now though. And Eileen actually just has to EMP to get Gushue off of Shu. He gets Godspeed as well though. The beat comes out for IDK. And then the EMP comes out for Bazzi, who hits 5. So really, that play was all set up by Gushue, putting so much pressure onto Shu that Eileen kind of was forced to EMP to save Shu. And then Bazzi can just counter EMP and the counter B comes out. So very good fight win for the Spark there, who actually has to use 1, 2, 3, 4 ults there. But still, they only need like 2 fight wins on this point to actually win the map. And they have 4 minutes left. Okay. So Charge, of course, get 2 recontests because Spark is holding very close. Actually, they might only get 1 depending on how long this fight lasts, right? We'll keep an eye on that. Gushue gets his bubble forced out. Nero is able to spam him from behind, right? Gushue has to jump out. Bebe leaves the card even for a second just to heal Gushue up. Charge might indeed get 2 fights here. And then Rhea just gets slept. Godspeed gets dealt with. Oh, and Rhea gets booped. Oh no. That's a good sleep from Shu there. Yeah, and then Nero is able to boop him because boop's actually, because the Pharah boop does no damage, it doesn't actually wake up the Diva. With a Lucio boop, I believe you do damage, so you actually wake up Rhea, but he just doesn't get woken up, gets booped off the map. Wow. Nice usage of that environmental there around the bridge from the Spark, and they didn't have to use any ults to win that fight, so very good fight for them. Kart's gonna roll back a little bit. Okay, Godsby's behind. He gets slept too, and he's also gonna get killed. Oh, Shu is hitting all the sleeps right now. He's on a roll. That should be another fight win for the Spark. Yep. Wow. No ults used either. So they just get to farm more and more ults. And shoot, 2 sleeps, 2 fight wins. Nice sleeps from him. That is only 2.5. So from 4 minutes to 2.5 minutes because 2 sleeps so far from Shu. Hit another one on IDK too. I don't count that one because the fight was already decided. But we'll watch that one too. So we can praise Shu more. When did he get the one on IDK? Must have been a while ago. Got him here. Ooh. So IDK is looking to get out. Nice tracking from Shu. Crushes him. Shu's on a roll on this map so far. Really shows why they're like playing around him so much with this comp. Playing around him and Nero's Pharah. Okay, so Charge now has the Barrage and the EMP. Also both tank ults. And they've just won 2 fights straight without using any ults, right? So obviously they're going to have 6 ults. Spark also has a pretty big ult bank though. They just don't have the beat. Or the EMP or the pulse bomb, right? But they're close to EMP. Rhea is looking to push cart. And where are the DPS right now? Okay. So they're okay. So they're both looking for flanks. This is good. Gushue is already jumping very aggressive though, and it's very hard to get onto Shu because he's just playing next to this hacked health back. So maybe Spark should be looking less for Shu and should be looking more for the tanks on the charge. Not entirely sure, but I don't think you can just dive Shu there like Gushue is doing, even though Gushue has ult. So as long as he can like dodge the sleep again, he's good. Shu hasn't used sleep yet. Oh, now he sleeps. Gushue, very nice sleep from him. And again, he uses that Hecht health back. So it's like the perfect room for Shu to play. Very good. Krong uses ult too. Gonna deny more divers. Bebe is coalescing. Eve ult comes out from Rhea too. Ooh, and Spark's looking really good this fight. They've killed Eileen. Ushue's ult in the backline now. Rhea's able to remake. Oh, Rhea gets instantly killed again though. IDK actually gets killed by Nero as well, so Nero's trying to save everybody here. Even though Gushue and Neptuno and Shu are dead, so both supports on the Charge are dead. Rio ults the stall. Strong loses mech, kill Krong. They are able to kill Krong. So this fight's looking really good for the Spark. But the spawns are so close for the Charge that these picks from Rio are good. And Neptuno and Shu have actually swapped off to really fast supports to get back to the point in time. And Nero is also going to swap off the Fair here because they no longer have Mercy. Neptuno ends up dying, but all these trades are really good for Charge because their spawns are so damn close. Eileen comes in with the EMP to secure it. Bozzy even used his EMP too, but who did he even get? I think it got cancelled maybe by the EMP from Eileen? Question mark? Oh no, just didn't get hit, and now he EMPs. And he gets free. He gets Shu, Rio, and Eileen. But his team's already so low. And IDK, Gushue, and Rio are hacked. And Godsby's dead. Ooh, Spark is going to end up cleaning up here. And those short spawns for the Spark is really what won them this fight. Do you think Fair is the pick for Charge to stick with? No, Fair's pretty bad on this last point. But they had the Fair barrage, so that's why they stuck on it before that. And Fair is good on this first point because you have aerial high ground, right? Like the tower. Like this, like you can go behind, right? So there's a lot of playground for Fair here because there's so much cover. And then here it's good too, especially on defense. Because you have all this cover, you can play around that, and then you have this little tower you can play around. But after that, there's really no cover for him, right? Unless you're like on the far right of the map, but that's rough. So it's good for him to swap off now. Dishonest comp, no honest comp, no honest rush comps. I don't think any comp is dishonest. Eileen lost the EMP, no he did not. But you already said that. The Spark now swapping over to rush. Charge swapping back onto a Fair comp. And Spark also altering their composition. So Charge does not agree with anything I just said. And it is true that it's pretty hard to retake into Fair comps. Oh, and now Spark swaps again. So Charge is also gonna... the spawn shenanigans need to stop somewhere. Okay, apparently Charge swaps to, again, a counter. May Reaper is very, very good against Winston Diva. But Spark do get positional advantage because Charge is still swapping their composition, right? So they kind of won and lost the spawn. Of course, Charge always gets the last say in the swap. But Spark being able to get here a little bit faster, it gives them like, good positioning, right? Okay. Ron gets hacked actually pre-fight because he's retaking. Now IDK beats. And I think this is the fight I saw on Reddit. This is a very long and good fight. So the beat comes out for the Spark. They're trying to roll over the Charge before they can do anything. Now, Shu comes out with the ult. Very, very good ult, right? He needs to keep his team alive during the beat from IDK. He does so. Nero goes a little bit low, but Nero's fine. He has the health back. Yeah, and Spark don't get a lot done with that beat. Now, Spark did get the Coalescence, and now they're going to get their own Coalescence. So they kind of want to play for that at this point. The boop comes out for Neptuno, but Bebo is able to shift back on, and IDK is going to war right back. So nice boop. Rhea gets very, very low. It's rushed down hard. Bebe now has ult. But Bebe dies with ult. That's horrible. Okay, so fight's looking good for Charge. And again, just because they have this May Reaper comp here, they do a lot more tank damage. So Gushui and Rhea have to really, really watch out. And now you saw this with Rhea, who he died so quick. He's gonna get... Oh, he doesn't get the remake either. So yeah, fight 1 for Charge. Now it's all up to Spark to stay alive and get contest. Gushui has his ultimate. He pops it to touch, I guess. Yay. He goes and touches the point. If he gets booped at this point, is he even going to be able to touch? Probably is, because he has 2 seconds. Oh, he tries to even boop Eileen off, but Eileen with a nice TP back on. And IDK is the one that ends up touching. Just in time. Gushui tries to boop Neptuno off now. He gets booped off himself. He's able to jump back on because his ult ended. Pulse Bomb comes out from Godspeed. Nearly sticks Shu. Shu can still stick, like, jump out. Charge is looking pretty good here again. They're using their Winston ult now. Where is Rio? Oh, he's just used it in main, I guess, to heal. Let's look at his HP before he uses that. No, he's full HP. I'm not sure why Rio ults her. I feel like he could be a little more patient with that. But I guess he's just trying to boop the enemy team away. Everybody gets off guard for Spark. IDK is going to go touch again. Nice touch from him. Krong uses his ult to touch. Bebe comes in with the ult. Everybody gets off the point again. Oh, IDK gets booped off the touch this time. Rio's booping people too, but Godspeed touches. Now, but Gushui jumps up. He touches. IDK still touching too. Gushui puts the bubble on the cart. Bossy's getting pretty close to ult. He can't die now. Shu has another Coalescence. Uses it. Gushui goes to 1 HP. Gushui's gonna die here. Rhea's touching now. Rhea and IDK are touching. Bozzy's killed Nero. I'm not sure how he killed him with an environmental kill. But we'll watch that real quick. Bozzy's actually 1 HP here. If he gets hit by a straight bullet, he's dead. And he almost has his EMP. But he gets the healing. And he must be hacking me. Okay. So Nero was already booped actually by IDK. So this was IDK's boop. And not Eileen or Bozzy's. But this is actually a very smart hack from Bozzy. Because he hacks Nero, he gets his ultimate from getting the boop credit. And IDK was nowhere close, so this is a super smart hack. Would have been better if he could have hacked Rio, of course, because then Rio would have fallen. But he gets his ultimate from the hack. Now he has EMP. The EMP's just the tanks. But if he went any further, he would have died. So good EMP from him. Rhea actually ults too into the enemy backline. Oh, and the boop from IDK. IDK's a hero. He boops 2 people into the Diva Bomb. My god. And then it's still not decided for the Spark because the spawn is so close for the Charge. They fight on the cart. The beat comes out for Neptuno. Eileen also has his Reaper ult. Nero's going to come back with his May ult. So it's definitely not won yet for the Spark here. Neptuno's looking for boops. Doesn't hit any. Neptuno might get focused down here. No, he's okay. IDK goes for another boop. He actually boops Eileen away, who is ulting. So again, another good boop for IDK. And Neptuno gets hacked by Bozzy in the back. So Neptuno's now going to die. Nero's going to come back with his May ult. This fight is crazy. Rio slams. And Nero throws down the May ult on the point. Everybody from Spark gets off. Panic mode. Who touches here? Somebody's touching right now. I guess IDK's touching? Oh no, Godspeed touches with a blink. A good job by Godspeed to touch real quick. IDK comes in with Beat, who's been saving this whole fight for the Spark. And then Bebe gets another Coalescence. Godspeed's frozen, but he's okay because he has the Beat. Godspeed pulse bombs, he hits Nero. Nero's forced to ice block. Fight's still not one for either side here. Krong ends up getting demacked. And wow. Spark getting more kills and IDK killing more and more people. IDK's so clutch in this fight. IDK's still alive. They're focusing him so hard. The man won't die. Oh, and the game ends like that. But at that point, Spark had such a numbers advantage that they cleaned up the point and won that fight. But IDK coming in with some crazy clutches. First, he boops Darrow off the map. Then, he boops 2 people into Diva Bomb. And then he boops away an ulting Reaper. Wow. That's some value out there. Q used free ults this fight? Really? I only counted 2. That's so crazy. Let's see what both these teams are playing here. Charge now. Swapping over to a spam comp as well. But instead of the Hangzhou, they're playing a Tracer. Which is really interesting. I don't think Tracer... She's more of an all-round character. But I feel like she's especially good when paired with Brigitte. But obviously Brigitte is banned in this 1 week. So I'm interested to see what the Spark bring out here to counter this. But I feel like Tracer brings a lot less spam for the Charge, even though they still have a full spam backline. Oh, and Spark is actually going to go hard dive. So then the Tracer is really good. And maybe they knew that Spark likes running dive here. So they just added in the Tracer adaptation. Tracer is also pretty good on Volskaya. Spark running full dive into this Charge backline. Oh, no, never mind. They tricked me. And they've now swapped over to hard spam. I guess it's because they saw the Tracer now. Now that the clock hit 45 seconds. They saw Tracer. And they're like, hey, if it was Hansa, we would have run hard dive. But because they're on Tracer, we can't get all the angles we want. And now we're going to go spam. Because we just have more spam than the enemy team. If they are playing Tracer, right? So good decision from the Spark in my opinion. And it's hard for the Tracer to do a whole lot against this comp in my opinion. Because there's no Brigitte armor on her, right? If there was Brigitte armor, it would have been a lot easier. Oh, so interesting wall there actually from Guangzhou to kind of deny this high ground from the Spark. Pretty good. I love that. Now Rio's shield's broken. Oh, but they still get forced out. So nice push out by Spark, right? And to get up there with the wall, you don't have the wall to actually wall the choke. Yeah. Rio set up on point with the shield. Looking to take the aggression. And Neptuno actually picks Bebe before the fight even starts. That happens. Because the Spark has taken so long on this rotation, right? They've taken a full minute plus. Like getting picked here is rough because they just started setting up their spam. They have more spam than the enemy team. Bebe really looking behind for that Tracer. And he tries to rotate. But because his tanks are on the low ground here, specifically Rhea, you just get spammed out. That is very rough. Why does Rhea go down? You get pulled? I guess he's trying to find an angle on Rio. Yeah, he just drops. Maybe he could have left the shield up there for a second. Just for Bebe to be able to cross. Nice pick though from He charge. And now, this is kind of falling apart right for the Spark. The Zen is such a huge source of damage. They do end up getting happy with a nice headshot. But at the same time, they just have less shield damage now. Just started watching the stream and I feel like Spark were playing the better comp almost the entire series. I feel like that's kind of true, Japdol. I feel like the Charge were more playing around their player strengths, specifically like Neon, Fair, Mercy, right, and Shu on the Ana, whereas Spark were playing more around what is great in the meta and how do we counterpick the enemy team. But overall, like this whole match was kind of like chess, right, with the compositions. There were a lot of composition swaps actually, and I feel like sometimes when Charge would swap their whole Pharah comp, it would be on bad spots, you know, when they just had a lot of ults, and they kind of panic swapped off it. But I feel like Spark was pretty smart with the composition picks. Just Charge was a little better individually, made a little less mistakes, right? And Overwatch in general is about who makes the least mistakes in very often in matches. Everyone is talking about this crazy stall fight, but I didn't watch the games last night. Well, then you've come to the right channel, Slippery, because I also haven't watched these games. So we can watch together. Okay. So Charge now has a bunch of ultimates. They've actually outfarmed Spark really hard. If you look at the... That's all about like how Charge have kind of done damage, right? They've obviously cleaned up the fight. They won that first fight, but they have gotten so much more damage than the enemy team. They've done like double their damage. Like Gushui, I guess Gushui and Rhea are somewhat similar, but Rhea and Krong, Bebe and Shu, right? Ozzy and Nero. Very, very good from the Charge to get their ult so much. And like that setup, now Spark is looking to set up again, but the first setup took like 1 minute 40 seconds, right? Just because spam v spam takes very long, these fights. It's not like rush v rush. Two teams kind of clash. And now, because spam v spam, it takes a lot longer for these fights to actually happen. The Pulse Sigma ult comes out for the Charge. Good Pulse Sigma ult. The drone comes out to counter it. Nice drone. Wall from Bozzy actually. It blocks Happy, but it also blocks the whole team. Yeah, they get Pulse Sigma ulted. Ozzy shifts it. He walls. Wait, he blocks off his own immortality field. Bozzy, your popsicle wall is screwing up your team right now. He's trying to like block off Happy. Oh no. The immortality field does go off. It just looks like it's frozen. But I guess friendly wall doesn't screw up immortality, because if you look at the health bars, they're good here. So it just looks like the immortality's frozen, but it's not frozen. Very confusing. And they're walling off Happy, but is this a good wall? I'm not entirely sure, because they're blocking off Happy, right? He's looking to finish people off. But at the same time, now they no longer have wall. So I guess it's a good wall. But still. Nice rock. from Krong, but the immortality field's still up. Now it goes down. Happy gets through now. He was just waiting on the other side of the wall. Bebe goes to fight him. Bebe actually gets discorded. The sticky bomb comes out for Happy. He misses. He's still fighting Bebe. He's gonna kill Bebe. So really nice discord there actually from Shu. And this fight is again looking very good for Charge. Bozzy and Rhea have rotated. Shu actually gets picked by Godsby. So that extra spam coming out for the Spark with the Hanzo. And Godsby also kills Happy just before he gets IDK. But Nero, Krong, and Rio over here are pushing Rhea, Bozzy. Rhea does a good job of kind of walking off the high ground just before the freeze ends. And nice drone there from IDK as well. IDK played phenomenally this match. Holy crap. But Rhea's probably still going to die. The ult comes out for Nero as well. Counter ult from Bozzy. But counter ulting with the Mei isn't as good when the enemy team has a lot of long range damage. When they're playing a rush comp, it's different, right? But if they have so much long range damage, they don't really have to commit to kill these frozen targets. So then the counter Mei ult doesn't do as much, right? You see this Bozzy ult doesn't really get too much value. It gets Nero, but Nero's already done the damage he wants and he's getting pocketed still. Yeah, and IDK's over here. He's trying to live, but he's probably going to die soon. So again, great fight for the Charge. And really that early pick on Bebe. It's looking very good here for Charge. Spark have one more fight. They have 3 ultimates here. While Charge only have the Zen ult and they almost have the Krong ultimate. So Spark should go and win this fight. Which if we look at the time bank, they probably do. Spoilers from time bank there. Yeah. Krong and Rio. I love this supercharger from Gushue. Happy has to kind of commit on it if he really wants to kill it, but Bebe and IDK should be able to protect it if Happy does. And it gives everybody the damage boost until like here, right? Where they start being out of LOS of it. But it's very safe. It can't get spammed out very easy. So good ult there. I always say this, but the ult lasts 15 seconds. It's very, very good. And yeah, it's even like going up to here. Like it's this LOS. Very good. All of Spark also playing inside of it. And it forces Charge to give up all the space. Which isn't bad for Charge, right? If they are able to wait out the ult, that's fine. But this is a very hard corner to capture. So now Happy's gonna go kill it. But a lot of positioning has been gained for Spark there. But maybe this is okay for Charge. Because they were in an ultimate deficit. But them getting one ult without using anything is fine. The Sigma ult comes out. He actually kills Happy straight up with the Sigma ult. Happy gets the immortality. He's close to his translocator. Oh, but he gets double tapped by Bebe. He goes to hide in the corner. He's 1 second off his recall. 1 second. And he doesn't blink away from the Rhea ult, actually. Did he have his blink? Oh, he only had 1 blink, so he probably couldn't have blinked out. Good ult there from Rhea, finishing off the low Happy. And Rhea actually gets stunned out of his ult, too, by Krong. A nice stun from Krong. Wait, let's watch that rock again. That's crazy. That's a long-range rock from Krong. Oh, the pull comes out, too. So he kind of gets pulled out of it so that Rhea cannot dodge it. Nice. So it's a 1-for-0 so far. Happy is dead. Charge attempt to push out. Geo gets frozen here. Bebe also uses his ultimate. But because the Tracer's dead, they've also used the Baptiste ultimate. Both teams wall off the enemy Baptiste ultimate. Good job by the maze. Ozzy ends up getting stunned and dies, but at this point, Spark has basically won this fight, and that really opened up with that Krong or that Rhea ultimate onto the Tracer. But yeah, finally the Spark cap, and that was really because the first fight was won by Charge without using any ults and just getting a pick, and they were able to charge all those ultimates, and spam takes so long to set up that it took 2 fights for Spark to finally get an ult advantage. But those 2 fights lasted like 1.5 minutes each, right? So it's very, very rough once you lose the first fight in the spam mirror. Just because they took so long to set up. Now second point here. Charge is set up in the backline. Spark, however, are coming in with 3 ultimates basically if Gushue can get his. And Charge is only close to Nero's ult. So if the Spark play this well, this could be a hard snowball from that first point. And Happy's actually swapped over to the Hangzhou as well. Ooh, okay. Godsby picks Shu too. So that's a very, very nice pick. I guess that's a pull plus Hangzhou arrow. Shu is over top left. He just keeps peeking. Godsby just gets the angle on him. Shu just dies. Wow. Not even a pull plus a Hangzhou arrow. Shu just a little over peeking. Perfect shot from Godsby. Gets him. And now Spark's in a very good spot. They're taking the top left space before they walk in because they really don't want Sigma to have this high ground. Oh, what happened there? Sigma having this high ground is so strong because you basically cannot pull Sigma off the high ground because he can personal shield in front of himself, right? And then you can't really pull him unless you go for like a crazy pull. But even then, he could recall his shield and like pull the other, block the other side, right? And Sigma just having this gives him this effective range, right? And he can basically hit all of the point. So it's very good from Spark to do step A, push out this high ground, get Krong and Nero out, and then go push point afterwards, right? Oh, and they also Hangzhou ult up here. Krong's able to hide from it. Nero gets shift forced. Anti-use drone, anti-use wall. Mail also comes out from Bazi. They're both frozen. A really good mail here from Bazi is going to kill both Krong and Nero. A great push out there from Spark. They're doing a really good job so far this fight. Just snowballing that pick from Godsby. Good bongo here from Gushue as well. And wow. Spark struggling so hard first point. Now able to capture the second point just by snowballing, getting that pick from Godsby, and then taking the proper steps, right? They don't just rush the point just because they got a pick. They go for that flank. They kill Krong and Nero because they overstayed a little bit. Didn't expect to get pushed, I guess. And then just because they used their Hangzhou and their mail there, just able to get those 2 kills. Okay, so Spark now playing a rush comp. I think they actually did really good with their spam comps earlier and like how they hold against Pharah. But them now swapping over to more of a full rush comp is interesting. Because I actually think Full Sky is a really good spam comp map, right? It has a lot of corners. It has a lot of high grounds, especially for Hangzhou to play around. and it has a lot of like you can put your supports in here, and then your tanks can still touch the point, and then they can heal each other, right? Just like we saw the Spark do earlier. Them playing rush here is very interesting. And again, Charge kind of picked their favorite comp here, the Pharah spam comp, Pharah Sombra spam, which has been working out pretty good for them. Arrow goes far left, gets that spam angle, and I still feel like Spark are kind of playing this like they're playing spam, right? They have Gu Shui and Bazi set up to go touch the point, and then they have Rhea somewhere else. But what they really need to do is like get on top of the enemy team and kind of rush them down, like we saw Shaq do before. Oh, Godspeed gets slept top left. I'm not sure about this defense. Like, I think if you're gonna play rush, you need to 6-stack and rotate around. You can't. There's not enough healing to split like this. If you want to play like this, then you should play spam. They should play the Zen Baptiste backline. Okay. They somehow get Rio very low. Okay, that just feeds Shu's nano boost. Bazi gets his shift forced out. Rio again roly-polying through. Godspeed gets hacked. Wow, Rio's just getting spammed very hard by Bazi and Rhea in the side. And whenever he touches point, he doesn't get too much done. Pretty interesting that they can't force Gu Shui and Bazi out of here. I guess just having Pharah and a Samra means you don't have that much shield spam onto Gu Shui. But eventually they're going to get their nano boost, and then they're going to probably nano boost Nero. Bazi's had to use his shift again. Rio has to rolly out. He even used his shield. Oh, Spark's already got 1.5 minutes off the clock here. It's not looking too bad for them. But if they want to play like this, why wouldn't they just play Zenyatta Baptiste backline? That's a lot better, right? I guess they have the Coalescence now, so they're gonna rush with Coalescence. Rock comes out and misses. They're gonna Coalescence, yeah, and then they win. Very interesting. I guess that works. This fast Sama just takes so long to set up that even if you're just sitting there with a rush comp, Bazi was able to just full farm his ult just off shooting Rio, who was contesting point, by the way. Like, it was literally just Rio contesting point, and Bazi was AFK shooting him. Like, I'm so confused. Yeah, they're gonna do the same thing. Now, Charge should really win the fight, though, because they have so many ults up. Probably gonna like nano barrage or something. Oh, Rhea gets slept over here somehow. He gets booped off. Oh, wait. What is happening? We're frozen. Oh, we're back. We're back, baby! Yeah. So Rhea gets booped. Well slept. Happy's. Okay, and they're gonna nano barrage him with the Matrix. But yeah, they're probably gonna win the fight off that. But they do get the point. But is it really? Oh, Bazi uses his ult. They're already free down. That's a bad ult from him. But is it really worth to like have to wait until you get ultimates and just win the fight off those. They were able to save Nano Boost, but they used Barrage Mercy ult. I guess if you get a good hack or a sleep like that, you're gonna win fights, but I think what Joptal said earlier in chat is very true. That Hard is the team that had the less good comps, but they were able to play them better. Spark swaps over. They keep the same comp, just swap to the Sombra here to deal with the ball, most likely. That's what Bazi's been able to do before. Rio comes in, uses his Hammond Mines, and Gushui gets hacked while that's going on too, so that's a very good hack. Was he able to use a shift? No, he was not. Charge already commanding a point control with a hack and Hammond ult. Ooh, Sigma ult comes out, but it hits nobody by Rhea. That's very, very bad. And Bebe then dies to Rio's boop. Oh. But they're picking the Sombra to kind of deal with the ball. But Ozzy is nowhere close to this fight right now. Where is he? I guess he just didn't expect fucking Charge to come in that fast, but what is he doing? Oh, he has this E in the back line right now? He's this E. Where? What? Why is he going here? I guess, oh, he's trying to find Happy's translocator. He's trying to find Happy's translocator so they can get it and they can kill Happy. Probably not worth. Because now Rio is able to go free. Yeah, and Rio then goes to boop Bebe off the map. He almost boops Gushui too. The Nano Reaper comes out too. Rio's 1 HP. This fight's not looking too hot for the Spark here. Oh, the Bongo comes out, but the EMP kind of disables it. Gushui's not been having a good time on the second point. He's been hacked constantly. Uses the Fortify, and Bebe comes out with the ultimate. You get Neptuno. Spark gonna be able to clean up here still. Oh, they C9. Oh no, that was looking really good on the retake there for Spark actually. They had 3 people there. They almost had beat. Bebe was still up. Who else was up? The Sombra, Bazi? Okay, who's to blame here? Bazi's on the point. He's hacked Neptuno. Nice job. Gushui, Bebe, Bazi up. IDK 2. Bebe gets booped. Bebe shifts. IDK's not on the point. Bebe gets booped. Bazi's going for like a kill on, so IDK's to blame here. He needed to touch. Oh, but he was trying not to touch because he had beat. That makes sense too. Maybe Bebe just needed to stay on for like 1 second longer, even though he shifted away. But he got booped. That's rough. Because they got 2 kills. Nice attack there from the Charge. And let's look at the second round now. Oh, Spark. Good defense on first, but they want to play like that. I feel like they should play the spam composition with Zenyatta Baptiste. This is a good point for it. So Charge again defending. Setting up top. They're playing the same composition with the Tracer. Spark's also playing the same composition. No surprises there. They're going to give up the high ground very quick. Spark is able to rotate top for free again because obviously Can't really contest that rotation. Pool comes out. Rhea and Bazi are trying to go for a long flank. This is very good. You kind of want to play that 4-2 split in the mirror. But they get pulled off. A very nice pull there from Rio. They all walk high ground again. Good. Spam comes in. Rio sits under them, right? So he can get more pulls. Bebe rotates. Okay. This time Godsby gets pulled. And Godsby just dies. Huh. This is very rough for the Spark so far. Because again, they're doing this walk-in. They're trying to set up their 4-2 split, right? But whenever they do, somebody gets picked. Now it's Godsby. Earlier it was Bebe. That does not go in their favor here. And I like this positioning from Rio, actually, like right under them. Now, however, Spark is able to finish their rotation. They're already one down. Got to be swapped over to the Tracer. And Nero kills Bebe. Ooh, so this is not looking too good for the Spark. Yeah, again, somebody just gets picked in their rotation, and they're trying to set up perfectly. But Rio is getting pulls on them every single time, and I think when they rotate, they just need to have the Orisa shield here, and then no Rio is there. You can only go for that pull, and they need to Sigma shield the pull. Now they had already rotated, right? So Godsby was just playing a little too far up. Gets pulled, dies. Spark's gonna have to swap to a rush comp to contest. Godsby is going to be able to. Links onto point, gets the touch. Shui roly-poly in from behind. Baptiste comes out here for the charge. Yeah, but you can't really dive here. Like this is like an undivable room, because if you dive this, they just go with the drone, that kind of stuff. So good job there by the charge to use that Baptiste ult from that room. And all that's possible now for the Spark is a draw. We all know that's not going to happen. Okay, so Spark now again with the rush comp, right? I'm not sure why though. If Chart is so horny for this Ferret comp, then they could just play the same kind of spam comp that they played on Eichenwald and played just as well. Now I still think the rush comp is good, right? Oh, and now Charge actually, they swap up their tank line from Ball Diva. The Ball Diva didn't do that much before, to a spam tank line. But this might actually be very good for the Spark. Because then Spark can like kind of rush people down. Okay. So again, the tank line for the charge goes high ground. This is good for them. And I feel like Spark is already too late now, right? They are very passive. Rio and Krong have already gotten high ground. And they can now play with the Pharah. Like, if they wanted to play rush, they should engage right here, right? Onto these tanks. But they weren't in a position for that at all. I guess you can't really do that either, because then the Sombra just forces point. Which is why Sombra can be strong. But they need to rush this Rio guy now. Like, they're playing Reaper, but they're not getting any value out of Reaper. Okay, they're gonna go now? No. Yeah, Reaper's going. But it's... Okay. Okay, they're gonna kill Rio. I think. Yes. So they did rush. Eventually. Gushui does end up dying for it though. But they also get Krong. With a nice pull there. Okay. Charge spamming. They have faster spawns here than the enemy team. And they're getting ticks on point right now. You have to contest Spark. Okay, they did contest. IDK does so. IDK is probably going to die though. Oh, but they're able to get Neptuno. That's massive. They're also able to get Nero. So Spark is going to win this fight with the Coalescence. Let's see that from Bebe's perspective real quick. She's playing a weight around Coalescence here. Yeah, he just gets out, uses it. They're playing a wait for that. Good Coalescence. Gets that Mercy. Now Chart is getting to those critical ultimates again, right? Like, they have EMP almost. They have Barrage. They almost have Nano. They have Krong ult. They have Neptuno ult. Their ults are really good. Especially against a Spark comp that has to clump up. All these ults are good into clump up teams. Especially because they can also like pull with their ults, right? They can pull Pharah ult, Nano him. So yeah, they're doing this 4-2 split again. It's great. But they can't rush anyone like this. Leo walks onto point. Leo gets pulled. Has to fortify. Okay. Oh, what? Wait. Why are these... Okay. What happens? Yeah, the VOD kind of just ends here. So I guess... What happens next? Is Nero's going to Barrage. He's going to kill everybody here. And then everybody dies. Because the charge of 1,000,000 ultimates, there's no way Spark wins this fight straight up. So even though we don't see the rest of this, we can imagine it, right? Yeah. We can imagine what happens next. It will be left to our imagination. Even though I feel like the Spark was playing good compositions, especially on Dorado and Eichenwald. Small mistakes ended up losing them Dorado. The Koth was very, very close. It was mostly mirror matchups. With some 5-head brain swaps and spawn. And overall good play from both teams and a really close match. And Charge was able to just edge out those first 2 maps. Then it was very close on the 3rd map too, but Spark wins that one. And now this 4th map was pretty close as well. And I feel like just the way the defenses for Spark were set up wasn't too good. For the people watching on YouTube, thank you very much for watching this VOD review. I'll see you guys in the next one.